Hey folks, cockroaches are out a little bit today. Little bit. We haven't seen them in a while. Some of you maybe thought they were gone. I even thought they were gone, but then I knew, cockroaches been around for hundreds of millions of years. They're not going away. They're always here. They're always here. You might not see them, but they're always here. So they're out a little bit today. But there's nothing really to worry about. And I like the fact that they're out because we're going to need some firepower to move this market higher. So you got to get people bearish. You got to get people negative. You got to get them pessimistic, okay? Some of you sending me comments about guys like Mark Faber, this goofball. Where was he? On CNBC? CNBC is a it's a joke of a network, a total joke of a network, but I don't need to tell you that. Anyway, Mark Faber saying market's going to crash by 50%. That's not going to happen, okay? But I'll tell you one thing, there are some things that bug me. I mean, first of all, the central banks and their policies, that's just been a bad deal. I mean, they have been heaping deflation on the global economy nonstop, layer upon layer upon layer. We'll probably get another layer of that tonight with the Royal Bank of New Zealand when they cut rates. So even though we have what might be record spending in the United States this year, federal spending, we have the EU allowing countries to breach their budget caps and run deficits larger than their deficit limits. That's very positive. We have Japan announcing fiscal stimulus. Okay, we have China loan creation rising very rapidly, which is functionally like deficit spending. All that stuff ordinarily would get us at very high rates of growth, but it's not happening because the central banks are there applying the brakes incessantly, just continuously applying the brakes with negative interest rates and rate cuts and asset purchases. And it's a horror. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And I said this before, any science that would claim to call itself a legitimate science, where its theories were at least not somewhat observable through empirical evidence, would be laughed out of existence. It's only economics that goes on and with an air of arrogance, they're calling itself some kind of a science. It is a travesty. Economics is a sham. It's a scam, okay? The way it is taught, the way it is implemented and practiced throughout the world, mainstream economics, how it comes out of, all the big fancy schools, okay? And Wall Street has completely captured it and used it as an enabler for its own policies. You look at Goldman Sachs. Look at Goldman Sachs. Every time I talk to you guys about Goldman Sachs, they are wrong about everything. Wrong about everything. But yet, they're one of the most profitable businesses in the world. Why? Because their model is fraud. Their business model is fraud. And they've captured the government to allow it to continue operating with this business model, and all that happens is they pay a fine, which is their cost of doing business. All right, every business has a cost of doing business. For Goldman Sachs and the rest of Wall Street, the business model is fraud, and they just pay fines. You try to do that, see what happens. All right. Anyway, and we got a big sell-off in oil today. We got oil cockroaches out now, too. They keep looking at the same thing. They're all pointing to the supply. That's all they know, and they think they're smart. They go around, and I'm sure if you're out in cocktail parties in the Hamptons or something like that, and you bump into a couple of these idiot hedge fund guys, they're probably short oil, and they're talking about, as they're sipping their stupid little Manhattan or some girly little cocktail, they're talking about supply. It's all they know, because everyone else is talking about the same thing. Just like those idiots were talking about the Japan debt crisis, okay, and the China debt crisis, and all the non-existent debt crises. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, okay? So they're all out there doing the same thing. And then, when they lose money, what do they say? Oh, everyone's in it's a crowded trade. We're all doing the same trades. It's gotten so hard to make money because you're all a bunch of fucking idiots. That's why. Idiots. All in the same. And I'm not talking about little piker hedge fund guys. I'm talking about the big shots, okay? The Dan Lobes and the Soroses and the Schruttenmeyer, whatever his name is, Stanley Druckenmiller. All right? And Gundlach. The debt's going to be a problem for the United States. Gundlach, the bond king, the new bond king. And Gross looks like, what's the guy's name from Dog Day Afternoon and The Godfather? Casals. Poor guy, he was a great actor, died young of cancer. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. Now, Goldman's really smart because it built a business model of fraud, and it found a way to legitimize that by capturing the government. These other guys, they just hang on to big money and get paid management fees and just try like hell either not to lose, or the smarter ones like John Paulson, what do you think they do? They go to Goldman Sachs. They say, make me a rigged trade that's going to work out, and go sell, go find a counterparty who's a sucker, and we'll all make a lot of money. I'll make a lot of money. You will, Goldman. The counterparty, we don't care about them. Find somebody, some stupid foreign Landesbank or something like that, and sell them the other side. Yeah! That's the business we all should be in. All right? But we don't have to, because we know MMT, so we make money anyway. We make it legitimately. These guys, there should be like a doping agency for trading. When it's on rigged bets, when it's on fraud. That's like the financial trading equivalent of doping. We do it natural. Au naturel, baby. Au naturel. How all you mousy boys doing out there anyway? Huh? You not feeling so good? Because I'm right all the time? Poor mousy boys. Poor mousy boys. All right, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.